Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, I promised myself that I wouldn't talk about vegan games anymore because of like all the craziness he has been and how much damage he has probably done to the vegan community as a whole. So, anyways, here's pretty much gonna be like his latest rant and all that. So I'm probably gonna also do like a video response to it as far as that goes. So anyways, here it goes.
Hi, Vegan Games here, and this will be my last video. It's all come to this. And tomorrow will be the day of retribution. Tomorrow will be the day I finally get revenge against humanity, and...
Oh, for what? You know, because you've been mocked too many times and all that sort of stuff. You know?
I've known you since middle school. When did all this happen? Fourth grade.
Carry on.
For the last 5 years now I've been vegan. I've had to endure a life of loneliness, life of rejection and unfulfilled desires, all because you people just can't stop eating animal products.
Well, that is just wrong. You know, it's not like you can't have friends being vegan and all that sort of stuff. When my brother had first started being a vegan, he had plenty of friends at his high school and all that sort of stuff. And where we live, there were some stores that cater to vegan people and all that sort of stuff. And even now, there are even like stores like Stater Brothers or some other places like that, or even like more the mainstream stores that could cater to like both vegans and non-vegans. So what is your whole problem as far as that goes? I mean, I know you're like from Canada somewhere as far as that goes. I mean, do you live in some place like Alberta as far as that goes that are not nearly as open-minded as far as that goes, but if you're like living in some place like Ontario, whatever, towards the GTA, I think there certainly be a bit of a vegan community there, or even like in some other places. So I don't know what's your whole problem with all this sort of stuff.
I'm 24 years old now, and I've only been able to convince a few people to go vegan. I don't know why you just can't realize that you're causing the suffering and death of animals, but it's a crime, and you're all going to pay for it. You've made me suffer and just rot in this life of loneliness.
So it's just one of those little things, like with any of these other militant vegans like yourself, that you just want to make that sort of thing become illegal and all that simply because you just don't like the suffering of animals and blah 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 blah. It's pretty much part of human nature and all that kind of stuff, or part of nature. But yeah, you choose to not eat meat. Well, good for you. I choose to that sort of stuff. Choose to continue doing that. Why can't you just respect my choices? I mean, that's just really the whole problem with the vegan community in general, in a way. I mean, especially if it's the more militant ones who just can't seem to respect non-vegans as far as that goes. So, anyways.
And you're all going to pay for it. I told you all to go vegan, stop eating meat, but you wouldn't listen. And now, even though you've ignored me for all these years, tomorrow you're going to see me as a god, as the magnificent being that I
am. Here we go again, another David Koresh wannabe, or whatever those kind of people that have the megalo complexes. So, who would have thought? Who would have thought that Vegan Games has like a megalo complex and all these other little things, like any of these other cults, But in a way, it's the same thing again. You make veganism look like a cult. Which is not really the case anymore. You make veganism look bad because you run around and want to commit genocide simply because you just can't stand the animal suffering, and so you decide to do the very same thing that you're protesting against, which is really ironic. Ironic in a way. So, carry on.
And tomorrow, I'm going to go into a steakhouse and I am going to annihilate every single stupid, fat, spoiled meat eater in there. And I'm going to make you suffer like the animals that you make suffer. You're just like those animals. You are those animals, and you're going to die just like those animals. And after I'm done annihilate.
So, it's just one of those little things again. There are some people that are vegan that would never really wish harm to the people that are non-vegan as far as that goes. So it just doesn't seem to make any sense to me why he would want to do these sort of things like that. You know, just to what is it? Protest against animal suffering, all this sort of stuff, and blah 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 blah. But this just really just tears it as far as that point there. That in a way it makes the whole vegan community look bad. It makes anybody that I know who's a vegan look bad, you know. And in a way, I do know someone that's a vegan, my own brother, who has been practicing vegan for more than 20 years so far. And sure, he might have been that way a little bit, like how some people were vegan to begin with, that it would start off that being that kind of way, but as time goes by, he started to become a little bit more what's that word? Open-minded about it, more tolerant towards people that are not vegan and all of that. And in a way, it's like people who are just intolerant to non-vegans make the whole veganism look bad. You know, going around calling people who are not vegan murderers, cannibals, or barbarians, or whatever little pejorative term that you probably put down them to make yourself look better than everyone and all this. Just really doesn't make any real sense to me. So carry on.
Every single one of you in that steakhouse, I'm gonna take to the streets. And before, when I went outside and I try and tell you to stop eating meat, and you just ignored me, well, that's not going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, you're going to have to bow to me like a god. I am a god to you. I'm a supreme being, and you're going to.
So, again, it's just another one with a huge ego and all this sort of stuff. But I wonder what would be the whole punishment for that sort of stuff if he actually done that sort of stuff. Since Canada doesn't really have the death penalty as far as that goes, which is a good thing. Yeah. So, depending on which province he lives in and all that, and depending on which prison they'll send him to if he ever actually does this sort of thing. You know, I wonder what's the whole meal plan there. Did he really also have such sort of thing for catering to vegans or something like that, or is it just simply that in there that he is forced to eat meat and all that sort of stuff? But some people say that would be kind of a cruel punishment, but I would say that's justified for that matter. Because you can't really be vegan and have and then go around and have all this compassion for all the animals and not have compassion for other people who aren't even vegan for that matter. You know, I mean, that's been one of the little things that I've seen many times over, as far as that goes with the vegan community on these on sort of thing that were they would compare the Holocaust. I mean, compare the animal suffering to the Holocaust, or compare animal suffering to 9/11 and all this sort of stuff. And then do all these little things like that. And there was this other video, I think it was from like a National Vegan, where she was talking about her cats and that she doesn't really like force her cats to be vegan and all that. And then she gotten flack from all these more militant vegans who ran around and call her every name in the book simply because she she doesn't really force her cats to be vegan and all that. But you can't even do that as far as that goes, because cats are carnivores, and they have no choice of that matter as far as that goes. You can pretty much make a vegan dog as far as that goes, but you can't really go around and force a cat to be a vegan and all that. And it's like one of those things I had said before. It's not like meat eaters force hamsters or gerbils to be meat eaters. So why go around and force a carnivorous animal to be vegan as far as that goes, especially like a cat. And then it's like what someone had pointed out there is like, if they didn't really like that sort of thing, then don't have a carnivorous pet like a cat. They could just have like a bunny rabbit or a gerbil or whatever. So, anyways, here's like the last part.
Pay for the wrong you've done. You're all going to pay. I'm going to annihilate every single one of you, and you're all going to pay.
What a relief! When will this poisonous product cease? This is another public service announcement. You can believe it or you can doubt it. Let us begin now with the cow. The way it gets to your plate and how.
If you're not feeling ready, pop right back in and we'll get you ready to go again.
Hi, Vegan Games here.
So,
and
oops. So, anyways, I forgot to stop it right there. So, anyways, that part there is like, in a way, like, some people know how Bessie the cow becomes the hamburger and all of that sort of stuff, and would not even care, would not even bat an eye and all this sort of stuff. It's just really the strange thing that there. And then the same little thing there, that somebody had said to him to shut him up about that was, what about all the suffering of plants, that sort of stuff, how all these little trees and all these kind of stuff that that are killed and all that, they become their dinner and all this sort of stuff. So I kind of think, in a way, that maybe in about another 10, 15, or 20 years from now, it probably wouldn't really even matter, because we pretty much would have food cloned or 3D printed and all this sort of stuff, where no animal life or plant life, for that matter, will be sacrificed as far as that goes. What does but what is like the whole consequence of all this sort of stuff once we have our whole food supply being cloned and 3D printed as far as that goes? So, you tell me. So, anyways, as far as like that, I've yet to see anybody else who's gonna try to defend Vegan Gains as far as for his actions now. Now that he's kind of shown his true colors. And then this is what I've been saying all along about Vegan Gains. That he's just nothing more than a weirdo. That he needs to be put in the loony bin and all this sort of stuff, because he now has become a danger to himself, a danger to society as far as that matter, a danger to the vegan community as a whole and all that, for his extremist views. And I don't know what has brought him to this whole point of being this sort of way. So, anyways, I guess that's probably it until next time.